My mother keeps a black snake. It usually hurts like eyeballs. When the black snake is a little bigger, my mother said that the black snake is an adult and should have its own life. That night, my mother put the black snake in my sister's bed. My sister looked at my mother pleadingly. My mother said that being able to serve black snake was my sister's blessing, and without hesitation, she tied my sister to the bed. The next day, when I went to my sister's room, the scene inside scared me. My sister curled up with a pale face on the side, and the snow-white sheets were stained with blood. My mother happily touched the head of the black snake and said, "My eldest daughter has been given to you. When will my dragon child come back?" Upon hearing my mother's words, I felt a wave all over my body. Longwood is my older brother. He died in a car accident 3 years ago. That's when my mother raised this black snake. The black snake hissed and spat apricots at my mother twice, then slipped out of my mother's hand and crawled under my sister's skirt. My sister looked at my mother in horror, but when she tried to get up, she was firmly pressed onto the bed by my mother. Once unfamiliar, twice familiar. Why are you pretending? You've done it before. My sister shook her head with tears in her eyes, and my mother seemed a bit soft-hearted. The tone has lowered a bit. Good girl, take good care of Black Fairy and make her happy. Sending your brother back is better than anything else. The black snake disappeared under my sister's skirt, and my sister's face was pale. As soon as I couldn't understand, I hummed and couldn't tell whether the expression on my face was pain or joy. My mom spat hard on the ground and cursed, saying something about little hooves. I didn't want it just now, but now I feel comfortable. Right. At night, I was half asleep. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw a black shadow standing in front of my bed, which scared me. Just as I was about to scream, someone tightly covered my mouth. I took a closer look, and it turned out to be my sister. My sister has disheveled hair, cold hands, and a chill all over her body. After I promised my sister not to make a sound, she finally let go of my mouth. I hugged the quilt and shrank into the bed, giving a cold shoulder and saying, "Sis, why are you so cold?" My sister laughed self-deprecatingly and said, "How warm can someone who has been torn apart by that kind of thing be? I'm here to tell you that you should run away during these 2 days, otherwise Mom won't let you go." I looked at my sister in horror, but I am a man. Oh, the smile on my sister's face is even bigger. How could she care about gender? And in my mother's eyes, the two of us combined are not as important as my brother. If you don't die because of this, you will die because of something else. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. The next day, I was awakened by my mother's screams. I hurried out to take a look and found that my sister was dead. Wearing a big red wedding dress, he hanged himself on the beam of my house. My mother's shouting was too loud, which attracted the third uncle next door. After seeing my sister's body, Uncle Sam shook his body a few times and almost lost his balance. Then he gritted his teeth and said, "What does he want to do? Do he want to become a fierce ghost?" My mother saw third uncle as if she saw the backbone, crying and saying that Longwood hasn't come back yet. How did he die? What should Longwood do if he dies? Uncle Sam slapped my mother's face, but it couldn't be resolved. The idiot is dead. What else do you want? Long Washington. My mother wanted to speak, but out of the authority of my third uncle, she could only obediently keep her mouth shut. Uncle Sam circled around my sister's body 3 times, to the left and 3 times to the right, then waved for me to pass. I was a little scared, but my mom kicked me over. The third uncle of Linksy was different from the fierce and evil spirit just now. When he faced me, his face changed. He kindly touched my head. "Your sister has always been kind to you. Tonight, you will be the one to keep watch over him." I was startled and quickly waved my hand to refuse. Uncle Sam didn't give me a chance to refuse. "Your sister died in vain. If there are no relatives to accompany her on the last journey at night, she will become a fierce ghost and never be reincarnated. Can you bear it? Moreover, even if we take a step back, your sister treated you the best when she was alive, and it won't be bad for you even if she dies. She won't do anything to you. I still shake my head. My mother went directly to the kitchen to get a kitchen knife and looked at me fiercely. If you don't go, if you dare not go, I will kill you now. I was so scared that I immediately screamed and dared not refuse again. My third uncle was very satisfied with my attitude. He touched my head. Don't worry, nothing will happen. To take a step back, the first day of the new ghost's rebirth is not that fierce. At night, I leaned against my sister's coffin, trembling as I stared at her body. After watching for a while, not only was I not so scared, but I also felt a little uncomfortable. I wiped away my tears and said, "Sister, no wonder you looked for me last night. Let me go quickly." So you had such thoughts. Actually, it's better if you die. If you die, you won't be ruined by others. Sister, please keep your eyes open when you are reincarnated. Even if you are reincarnated as a pig or a dog, it is better than being reincarnated into our family. While I was still talking, the door suddenly slammed open, and I was scared and jumped up. Steadied down and took a look, it turned out to be my mom. The pitch black night fell on him, and I couldn't see the expression on his face. I waited for him to come closer. I just saw my mom holding the black snake in her hand, and she glanced at me first. Then, without saying a word, he started taking off my sister's pants and realized what my mom was going to do. I quickly grabbed my mother's hand, swallowed my saliva, and looked at my mother almost pleadingly, saying, "Mom, my sister is already dead." My mother touched the snake's head and said, "Black Fairy wants it. Even if she dies, she still has to serve me." My mom suddenly changed her mind and stared at me with a gloomy smile, saying that you could come. I was scared by my mother's smile and broke out in a cold sweat, and my hands unconsciously loosened. In just a moment, the black snake had already slipped under my sister's body. The snake body was already half gone, and I couldn't bear to look any further, so I turned my head and left the door. I stayed at the door for less than 2 minutes, and my mother's screams came from the morning hall. I was so scared that I shuddered all over and hurriedly ran inside. As soon as I went in, I saw a pool of blood flowing from under my sister's body. The snake's body was broken in two, and the snake's head was grinning outside, spitting out a message, but the snake's tail was gone. My mother, with a pale face, cursed bad luck and then reached into my sister's body. After groping for a while, he finally pulled out a long snake tail. My mother put the snake head and tail together and touched them with a look of heartache. After confirming that the snake had not died, my mother breathed a sigh of relief and then looked at me. He fiercely said to clean up this place, otherwise what will be discovered tomorrow? I'll beat you to death. I lowered my head and whispered, "I got it." My mom left satisfied. The next day, just as dawn broke, Uncle Sam came, and his face eased when he saw me. I said it's okay. I bit my lip and didn't say anything. Uncle Sam didn't say anything else and walked straight towards the morning hall. The moment he saw my sister's body, Uncle Sam's face immediately changed. He turned his head and squinted at me. "Did anything happen last night?" I opened my mouth and hesitated. Just as I was about to tell my third uncle, my mother walked in from outside the door, talking incessantly about what could happen. I was also here last night, very quiet. Let's not ask too much about Sanyi, hurry up and bury Daya. It's not a big deal if the dead are always at home. Don't ruin the feng shui of our entire family. Uncle Sam ignored my mother, just stared at me and asked me again, "Did nothing really happen last night?" I secretly glanced at my mom. I found him staring at me fiercely. I hurriedly shook my head and said nothing happened. I didn't sleep all night last night. Nothing happened. After I finished speaking, third uncle's brow furrowed even deeper, muttering that nothing should have happened. Why is there so much resentment? Fortunately, although Uncle Sam had doubts in his heart, he did not ask further. Uncle Sam touched my head and asked me to go to Wu Nai's house to get a crowing rooster. I looked at my third uncle with some confusion and asked, "Third uncle, my family also has a big rooster. Why do we have to go to Wu Nai's house to get it?" Uncle Sam sighed. If it was an ordinary death, your big rooster would be enough. But your sister has too much resentment. Your family can't control you. The rooster of Wu Nai's family is old, and only their red crown is useful. If you ask someone else to borrow, he may not be willing to give it. But if you go, he will definitely be willing to give it. I hesitated for a moment, but in the end, I gritted my teeth and ran towards Wu Nai's house. When I arrived at Wu Nai's house, I was thinking about how to speak up. Wu Nai has already tied up the hands and feet of the rooster and handed it to me. I looked at Wu Nai with some surprise. Wu Nai sighed and stared at me with her muddy eyes, saying, "Take it." Although I'm not sure what happened in your house, I have a rough idea. This chicken has been with me for many years. If someone else asked me for it, I would definitely be reluctant to part with it. But since you were young, I have treated you as my own grandson. I won't hesitate to give it to you. My nose felt sour and I almost cried. I knelt on the ground and knocked my head 3 times in front of Wu Nai. "Wu Nai, you will be my grandmother from now on. If I can survive this time, I will take care of you in your old age." "Good, good, good. Good child." Wu Nai trembled as she held me up with both hands, then leaned in and whispered in my ear, "After your sister died, are you the first to be affected? Remember, if your mother cooks meat for you, don't eat it." I trembled all over and looked at Wu Nai in shock, wanting to ask again. Wu Nai pushed me out of the door with her voice, urging me to leave quickly. When I got home, my third uncle was making peach with nails. He saw the rooster in my hand and breathed a sigh of relief. I knew if you went to ask for it, he would definitely give it to you. I lowered my head and didn't say anything. Uncle Sam doesn't mind either, urging me to quickly kill the rooster, then take the chicken blood. I nodded, running straight to the kitchen with a big rooster, hand up, knife down. I just connected the rooster's blood. As soon as I turned my head, I saw my mom standing behind me, staring straight at me. I was startled. The bowl in my hand almost fell to the ground. I weakly called out, "Mom." My mom didn't say anything, walked slowly to me, took out a black bottle. I haven't had a chance to ask yet. My mom took the contents of the bottle, poured into a bowl filled with chicken blood. My pupils constricted. The contents of the bottle are also blood, but we don't know what kind of blood it is. I looked at my mom in horror. My mom doesn't care why you're so nervous. Chicken blood bubble peach with cubes. Do you want your sister to never have another child? I shook my head quickly. Of course I don't want to. My mom leaned in and said, "Then keep what happened just now to yourself. This little blood is nothing. Just make the yang energy of chicken blood not so strong. Let your sister not have to give birth forever." I lowered my head. I didn't say anything. I just had a vague feeling that my mom wouldn't. So kind. My mother's attitude changed instantly when she saw me. "Why, you dare not listen to me. If you dare to speak out, watch me kill you." I shrank my neck in fear. In the end, I can only weakly say that I know. When I handed the chicken blood to my third uncle, Uncle Sam has already made the peach wood cubes. Uncle Sam wiped the sweat off his head, put the peach wood diced into the chicken blood bowl. I wanted to tell my third uncle about what happened just now several times. Unfortunately, my mom is staring at me tightly on the side. Don't give me a chance to speak. Uncle Sam seems to have noticed my hesitation to speak. What's wrong with the beard? Do you have anything to say? I lower my head, ask their uncle in a very low voice, "What are chicken blood bubble peach wood nails used for?" "For sealing the coffin." Then my sister looked up at my third uncle. "What will happen to my sister?" Uncle Sam looked at me for a while, just sighed and said he would never have another child. "The beard is not the ruthless third uncle. Your sister's death was really evil. Uncle Sam can't suppress your sister if he doesn't do this." Sure enough, it's just like what my mom said. Never have more children. It took a deep breath and said, "Third uncle, I see. Let me help you. Let's hurry up. Otherwise, it will get dark soon." Uncle Sam no longer talks nonsense, supporting me to go to the funeral home, carry out my sister's body, put it in the coffin outside. I just entered the morning hall. I was so scared that I screamed directly. My sister's belly was still very flat this morning. Now it's as big as a ball. I looked through her clothes. You can still see under her belly. There are things wriggling one by one, criss and cross. It makes people's scalp tingle. Uncle Sam came in and saw the scene. My legs went weak and I almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, I quickly caught her. Uncle Sam trembled with a fast voice. "Hurry up. Help me carry your sister into the coffin," taking advantage of the tongue coating in her belly. "Not out yet. Quickly seal her with chicken blood peach wood nails. It's too late if you're late." I dare not delay any more. I hurriedly carried my sister out with my third uncle, immediately following. I brought the coffin lit up with my third uncle again. Uncle Sam is holding Peach with nails soaked in chicken blood while nailing the coffin, murdering words in the mouth. "Your mother is not worthy of you in this lifetime." But there are no parents in the world. Yang people have Yang Dao. Yin people have Yin paths. Don't entangle anymore. Uncle Sam kept nagging and nailing blood nails like this, until all 7 are nailed. Uncle Sam just closed his mouth. Then he breathed a sigh of relief. Uncle Sam said my sister died suddenly, not married, cannot enter ancestral graves, can only be buried in a mass grave. I nodded, went out and found a few strong young men, buried my sister in a mass grave. When I get home, it's already dark. Uncle Sam is still there. He saw me, trembling to get up. "Since you have returned safely." "That proves it." "Old man, I am leaving too." I didn't say anything. Uncle Sam walked out by himself. Third uncle. When Uncle Sam stepped out of the threshold, I still couldn't help but call him third uncle. What would happen if other blood was inserted into the chicken blood? Hear my words. Uncle Sam suddenly turned around. Then he stared at me in horror. "Is there any other blood in the chicken blood this afternoon?" I quickly shook my head and said no. I'm just asking casually. Uncle Sam still doesn't believe it. I promise again and again. Uncle Sam breathed a sigh of relief, wiping the sweat off his head with trembling arms. "Say you scared me to death. If chicken blood is mixed with other blood, the effect will be greatly discounted. You also saw your sister today, obviously pregnant with tongue coating. Huizi was originally very fierce, not to mention snakes. 1-1. Maybe everyone in the village will die." What did Uncle Sam say later? I didn't pay attention to the head. Buzzing. All I can think about is that the whole village will die. Wait for me to react. Uncle Sam has disappeared without a trace. Uncle 12 and 13 just left. My mother picked up a hoe and prepared to go out. I quickly called out to his mother, "What are you going to do?" My mom turned around and looked at me leisurely. The night is too deep. I can't see the expression on his face. I can only see his eyes by the moonlight. Extra bright. Mind your own business. I shrunk my neck. Didn't dare to ask any more. My mom turned around and walked out the door. My mom didn't come back until the next morning, covered in dirt, holding a big bag in his hand. What's inside? It's always moving. I hurried to meet him. I want to take the bag from my mom. My mother looked at me deeply. Then he waved his hand and said no need. Seeing me staring at the bag, my mom explained it to me for no reason. Caught a litter of wild rabbits last night. How could I ice the meat for you to eat? My nose feels sour. Tears almost flowed down. In my impression, this is the first time my mom has talked to me like this. My mom was satisfied with my reaction. No more words. Went to the kitchen with the bag. I want to go in and help, but my mom stopped me outside. You go lie down. I'll call you when the meat is ready. My mom has always been decisive. Once she speaks, there is no room for me to refute. I didn't persist anymore. Stealthily returned to the room. Not much meeting. My mom called me to eat. There is a full plate of stewed mincemeat on the table. Can't see the original shape. My mom saw me not using chopsticks for a long time, urging me to eat quickly. Mom is afraid that rabbit meat is too oily. You can't digest it well, especially stewed until tender. I looked at the meat on the table, mixed feelings in my heart, but still picked up the chopsticks. Put the meat in your mouth with big bites, until I finish a plate of meat. My mom just breathed a sigh of relief. Left the table with an excuse of being tired. After making sure my mom went back to the room, I suddenly ran to the place where pigs are raised in the backyard, scratching his throat with his hand. Not until the stomach acid is vomited out. Leave me. Watching the pig vomit on me. Lick and wipe clean bit by bit. After making sure not to leave a trace, I collapsed on the ground completely, panting heavily. Unfortunately, my mother used to cook meat for me. I must not eat, although I don't understand why. But unfortunately, it's good for me. He couldn't have lied to me. And my mom is really abnormal. My sister's third uncle also said that everyone in the village will die. One thing after another adds up, like a pair of invisible hands. I can't breathe. I have made up my mind. Run later. I just recovered and plan to get up. I heard screams outside. The sound is coming from Uncle Son's house. I bounced up from the ground all of a sudden, running towards Uncle Son's house. Uncle Son's house was surrounded by a crowd. It took me a lot of effort to squeeze in. Then I saw the most terrifying scene of my life. Countless small snakes with finger thickness, wrapped around Uncle Sam, densely stacked layer after layer. Wrap third uncle tightly. A corner of clothing that can only be exposed from the outside. Can vaguely recognize. It's the old men's shirt that third uncle often wears. I was so scared that my whole body went numb, stuck in place and unable to move. The timid ones have already fainted. No one in the circle dared to take a step forward, including me. I don't know who pushed me in the crowd. I stumbled. Fell directly on the body of third uncle, just when I thought it was over. The little snake on Uncle Son's body didn't harm me. Instead, they climbed down from Uncle Sam one by one, scattered in all directions. The cold and slippery touches on me, brushing past me. I dare not breathe until all the snakes are gone. I just breathed a sigh of relief. I looked up and found the village chief squinting, staring at me. This happened in the village. People with status were called to the village chief's house. Discuss solutions. I lowered my head. I originally wanted to leave the village at this time. I didn't expect the village chief to call me Huzi. You too, I want to refuse. But the village chief looks like he can't refuse. I can only follow with my head down. Everyone discussed for a long time. Finally, the village chief made the final decision. Tomorrow I will go to town to find a capable person. Settle this matter. Let's not talk about whether this will affect everyone. Just talking about the thousands of snakes. I don't know what's going on. Which one of you can sleep peacefully? Everyone looked at each other. Finally, the village chief's approach was accepted. The matter is over. Everyone dispersed. I also want to go out with the crowd. The village chief stopped me. After taking everyone out, The village chief stared at my beard with a burning gaze. "You will sleep at my house tonight." I looked at the village chief in surprise. The village chief sighed. "Go on, believe me." "Yes, your home is not safe." I'm so clever. Busy asking the village chief what you know. The village chief shook his head and only understood half of it. "But I know you are the key to breaking through. Therefore, I must save your life. Do you believe me in this village? There is no place safer than my home now." I stared at the village chief for a while, finally nodded heavily. "Okay, my surname is in I-16. The village chief went out before dawn the next day. I didn't come back until almost noon. Behind, also followed by a young man about my age. The village chief introduced me to a young man named Shifang. He is a Taoist from the Maotian system. Don't look young. The ability is not ordinary. I nodded to Shifang. 10 directions are dead. Staring at me makes your family feel sad. I nodded. Shifang asked again how he died. I lowered my head. The person who died was my sister. Suicide by hanging. Oh, Shifang suddenly laughed. How can you be sure it's suicide? I looked at Shifang in shock. What do you mean? The smile on Shifang's face magnified several times. But don't answer me. Let's go. You want to make it happen. You must first sharpen your tools. Take me to your sister's grave first. I have no hesitation. Go directly to the mass grave with Shai. I really want to know too. How did my sister Shifang has arrived at the place where my sister is buried? Shifang frowned and looked at me. Are you sure? I nodded firmly. Of course I'm sure. My sister was buried by me personally. And it's only been a day. I can't be wrong. But Shifang pointed to the grave camp with her finger. This is clearly a pile of empty graves. It's impossible. I'll be straightforward. Shifang is determined to see my wife. Don't argue with me either. Just let me wait for him at the grave. Then he went down the mountain by himself. He came back after about 10 minutes, holding 2 shovels in his hand. Shifang handed me a handful. I looked at him puzzled. Why didn't you even lift your head? Dig up the grave. I became anxious in an instant. No, my sister never enjoyed any blessings while she was alive. Can't die without peace. The 10 directions looked at me with great interest. Since your sister never enjoyed happiness while she was alive, how can we hope for death? And I didn't lie to you. Your sister is no longer in there. This is an empty grave. After Shifang finished speaking, regardless of whether I agree or not, started digging directly on its own. I took a deep breath. In the end, he went forward to help the stone party dig. We are both in our prime. The surface of the coffin was dug up in no time. I looked at the coffin in horror. The big red coffin is still there, but the peachwood nails on the coffin are no longer winged. Did it really fly, as Shifang said? This grave is already an empty grave. I'm still in the gap of thinking. Shifang has already lifted the coffin lid. It's empty inside. I looked at the 10 directions at a loss. Ask where my sister is. Shifang shook his head. I'm not sure. Then he looked at me with burning eyes. I want to know where your sister is. We must know what happened. Now tell me exactly what you know. You're hiding a word. You may be a little more dangerous. I pondered for a few seconds, then cut me into a car accident. My mom raises black snakes. In the end, my sister committed suicide by hanging herself. Told Shifang word for word. Shifang took a deep breath after listening. He said my guess was indeed good. I asked him back, do you know? Shifang nodded and saw you for the first time. I just guessed. You smell like a snake. It means you have eaten meat snake. It also indicates that someone is raising meat snakes. Wait, I broke the stone square. What is the meat snake you mentioned? Shifang looked at the coffin. He looked at me again, finally hesitated to speak. Don't ask evasively. You don't want to know. However, although Shifang did not say it, but I saw it in his eyes and expression. Also guess 7780. I knelt in front of the grave and retched. I didn't stop until I almost vomited all the bile. After that, I collapsed on the ground for a while. Shifang did urge me, wait until I recover before speaking. This is also why I said your sister wasn't the reason for her suicide. I lifted my eyelids and looked at her. What does this have to do with whether my sister committed suicide? Nature is related. If I'm not mistaken, your mother wants to use your sister's body to breed snakes. Breeding snake. The most important point in raising meat snakes is the mother must be a corpse. Only in this way can we ensure that the meat snake has enough yin energy. Although my heart is already hidden, I guess the answer, but I still didn't give up and asked my mom, why raise a meat snake? Why do you have to make me eat it? Shifang sighed. Why bother? You should have guessed it already. Why bother asking? I closed my eyes. I want to make sure. You tell me, Shifang, crouch down. You always said that raising meat snakes is for you to eat. As for why I let you eat, it's because they want to increase the yin energy in your body, so as to better make your serum. Borrowing a corpse to revive. Is that so? It self-mockingly tugged at the corner of my mouth. I look at the 10 directions and you say, why are there such biased mothers in this world? My mom favors my brother. I have known this since I was a child. I just didn't expect it. My mom did it for my brother. He could actually kill me and my sister with his own hands. In that case, since you don't love us, why did you give birth to us in the first place? Shifang didn't speak. After a long silence, he just opened his mouth and said, I don't know either. Human nature is truly a selfish and complex thing I can't see through. So I choose to be born. Non-causal. Do not enter the world. I'm not wasting any more time on this topic. I got up from the ground, asked Shifang what we should do now. Where is Miss Sister? Shifang pondered for a while. Speak up. Your mother is already possessed. If you want to completely solve this matter now, you must be cruel to her. Can you do it? It self-mockingly tugged at the corner of my mouth. What can I do if I can't do it? Let the whole village. Did they all die because of his madness? Moreover, my mother didn't originally treat my sister Monkey as a human being. I have nothing to be soft-hearted about. Shifang patted my shoulder. If you think so, then things will be easy. Where is your sister? You didn't ask me. You ask yourself. Asking me, I looked at Shifang in confusion. Shifang nodded. Yes, I mean you. Is there anything at home that doesn't see sunlight all year round? And a place with heavy yin energy? Your sister's body must have been taken away by your mother. But your sister is still human. Can only stay in places with heavy yin energy. So think about it carefully. A place with heavy yin energy. I lower my head. Start thinking along the words of the stone. In the blink of an eye, I thought of a cellar in my house. Very big. Usually used to store winter cabbage and such. Common without sunlight. After I told Shifang, Shifang's eyes lit up. Looks like that's where it is. Things should be done sooner rather than later. Let's go now. After Shifang arrived at my house, my mom is not at home. I and Shifang arrived at the cellar door unimpeded. Shifang handed me a flashlight. There is another symbol. Tell me to stick the talisman on your back. It can save your life in critical moments. I hesitated and asked Shifang, aren't you coming with me? I'm a little scared. Shifang waved her hand. That's your sister. Not my sister. I dare not go. She is too fierce. In case you lay a hand on me, I really can't handle it. After Shifang finished speaking, my legs are softer. What if she hits them? It's useless to twist people down. What's the use of this talisman you gave me? Shifang looked at me with certainty. Don't worry, he won't make a move on you. Just because you rolled into a pile of snakes yesterday, none of those snakes hurt you. I can be sure that he has a strong affection for you. He won't harm you." After Shifang finished speaking, I have one less concern in my heart. Walking towards the cellar with a flashlight. Clearly it is the integrity of midsummer. I was shivering in the cellar. I shone my flashlight on the wall. Found a thick layer of frost on the wall. I took a deep breath. It seems that you have found the right place. The further I go, the colder I get. When we are almost at the end of the cellar, I saw that the bed where Cabbage was originally placed was indeed me. Sister's body. My sister's body, by a chain as thick as a baby's arm, tightly wrapped. I exclaimed, "Sister," then walked quickly forward, but half a step away from my sister. Just stopped walking. My sister's lower body is naked, and her legs are spread apart. A black snake, poking around in her body. I recognized at a glance that this snake was the one my mother raised. I was so angry that my breathing suddenly became rapid. Forget it when my sister was alive. Now everyone else is dead. The snake is still bullying him. I am angry from the heart. Regardless, he grabbed the snake head that was sticking out, then threw him to the ground. Stomp on a few hard. Wait until the black snake is completely dead. I stepped on all the internal organs. I just took a breath. I walked up to my sister's body, looking at my sister's pale face, a sour nose. Tears almost flowed out. I quietly start unlocking the chains that bind my sister. Wait until I put the last chain. When I took it off my sister, I also opened my eyes immediately. By the light of the flashlight, I saw my sister's eyes were pitch black, only dark, no whites. I was so scared that I became clever all over. My sister saw through my fear, slowly opened his mouth. She said her brother, "Don't be afraid." My sister and I worked in the cellar from day to night, determined that the residual heat of the sun has dissipated. After no harm was done to her, I just carried my sister out of the cellar. Shifang is still squatting at the cellar door. She saw us come out. The furrowed eyebrows finally relaxed. My sister glanced at the Taoist priest. "Are you going to stop?" Shifang shook his head. Taoism emphasizes causality. Where there is a cause, there is a result. Your mother is sorry for you. You want revenge. I won't stop you. But the others in this village are innocent. I pray that you spare them. Otherwise, even if it's a matter of life and death, I also want to die with you." My sister Mirren nodded. "Don't worry. All I ever wanted was revenge. I won't take it out on them. I killed third uncle. It's just because of raising meat snakes." This method is what he told my mom. I shuddered all over. The original method of raising meat snakes. It was my third uncle who told my mother. But why would he doth it? Evan risked his own life. But now is not the time to think about these things. 10 parties heard. My sister won't lay a hand on anyone else in the village. Breathe a sigh of relief. Move aside and block my sister's body. We found my mother at my brother's grave. My mom saw me. Long Washington grabbed my hands with a frenzied look. "Is that you? Did you come back? You wouldn't lie to me. You can come back." Right. I looked at my mom coldly. My mom didn't talk to me for a long time. Also reacted. Suddenly released my hand, whispering no in the mouth. "That's not possible. I clearly did everything," he said. "Why are you still you? Why hasn't my mom made it clear yet?" My sister is already standing behind her, reached out and pulled his heart out of his chest. My mom looked at my sister in disbelief. My sister gave a cold smile. "So your heart is also red." Then, in my mother's terrified gaze, countless snakes rushed out of my sister's body, covered my mom. After Shifang finished dealing with my mother, he will help my sister. I stood in front of my sister and wouldn't let her. Shifang sighed. He is neither human nor ghost now. I saved him for his own good. I looked at my sister. My sister smiled and nodded her beard. I am willing. My nose is sour, sister. I'm sorry I didn't protect you, watching you come to this point helplessly. My sister touched my head. She said to me very gently, Sister, no wonder your sister knows about beards. I am also a child. What can Bedoni? Sister Haas never blamed you, as long as you can be well in the future. I nodded desperately. Then I watched my sister disappear into the halo. After saying goodbye to Shifang, I went back to Wunai's house. Wunai saw my dejected look. It hurt so much. Busy taking care of me. Sit down. Then bring me a bowl of meat too. I cried while eating, talking incessantly about the cause and effect with Wunai. Wunai, Shifang is a good person. He's really good. Wunai, I still can't figure it out. Why did Uncle San come up with that plan for my mother? He himself died. For what? I didn't talk. Just watching me eat with a smirk on the side. Wait until I finish eating. He just spoke. Of course Shifang is awesome. Otherwise, how can you save your sister? He is the person I specifically asked the village chief to find. Who else told you? The person who gave advice to your mother is your third uncle.